Hello, everyone. I hope we're all doing all right. So, welcome to our live stream today. And we're trying to start off and get everything going. So, I would love to have our engagements on the screen. So, can we make a comment? If we're all together, can someone say hi in the comments? That would show us that we are together. All right. Okay. So I see that we are all together. Okay. So I see that we are all together. So we're good to go. I see that. First of all, I know we all know me, or most of us know me, but I would like to introduce myself. My name is Anthony Okun, and I'm a host for today. I'm fortunate to be the convener of Mindshift, and we decided to take things a bit differently this year. And at Mindshift, we're all about productivity and a well-rounded productivity. There are some people are focused on just money, or how to make money. Some are focused on just romantic relationships. Some are focused on work relationships. Some are focused on just spirituality or God and all that. But at Mindshift, in fact is that to have a well-rounded life, you need to be good enough in all those aspects, right? So at Mindshift, we're about having a balanced life in money, leadership, uh, relationships, spirituality, and there's a fifth one, but we'll leave that fifth one for later. So, you know, with money, it's it's easy to make it, or it might not be easy. Some people might say it might not be easy to make it, but trust me, money is, if you put the way of things, money is easier to make than it is to keep, because uh, we keep saying, there's a joke I keep saying that if you if you want some people, if you want some people not to live till next week, give them 10 million naira or whatever the equivalent in dollars. Okay, let's do dollars. Give them $1 million, and they would. You'll be surprised how their life would turn out, right? So it's not just about money. It's about how to manage the money, how to keep the money, right? And we've seen people that they've made money and it has put them into trouble because they were not ready. So that's the idea of this program. We don't want you to hustle and make money and you can blow it. Maybe as a man, you blow it on women, blow it on clubbing and frivolities. As a woman, what do women blow their money on? If someone can tell us in the comment section, what do women blow their money on? Maybe hairs and stuff, right? So we'll have a guest, and he's a financial person. Oh, hairs, yeah, hairs. It is well with hairs. I saw somewhere that they're selling Bone Street for 30,000. That goes straight. It's very on straight. Yeah. So without any further ado, we want to usher in our guest, Mr. Austin. He's a financial man, and we're in a we're in a group. The guys, the boys, were in a group, and he's always talking about money, talking about stocks, passive income, ways you can make money while you're asleep. So we said, hey, let's bring him in to tell us some nice things on how we can manage and multiply our money passively. Right. So I would still come in and join, but I think for now, let's leave the floor open to our big man, Mr. Austin. All right. So Mr. Austin, you're live. Can you hear me?
Oh yes, certainly, most certainly I can.
Okay. So I didn't want to. I want you. I know you're a very big man. You're a very big man. Most times when I call you, you're driving, and when we come to Abuja, now you they save us from both. So the thing it goes from top to bottom. So let me not introduce you. So please just kindly introduce yourself to everyone, and you can just fire on with the knowledge. I have my pen and paper. I'm writing already.
Oh, okay, so first thing is yes, my name is Austin. Um, I'm an accountant actually. I regard myself as just a layman that tries as much as possible to put his money where it should be, because I think it's very important. No matter how much you earn, if you spend all of it, then I don't think you're going to grow. So that's just how I say it. So when you're making money, you just find a way to put it so that that money can work for you, and then scale it up from there. So I don't think there's too much from my end, um, because just like he said, my man Tony, um, basically as as a person, especially in the country where we are, Nigeria, you would want to make sure that you're not one person that squanders. Even if you're squandering, you have to make sure that you have it coming. Because once it's just outflow, 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 you know that there's going to be a problem because that money is going to finish. So um, every now and then I try as much as possible to just chip in because yeah, they're my friends, and just like you said, we're in a group, so we try as much as possible to help each other. So if there's an opportunity, I would just most likely drop it there, and those that can would key into it. Like for instance, few days back or a few weeks back, there was an opportunity. I'm sure Tony can remember, of Champion Breweries, where they
Yeah,
were,
champion breweries. But those people, they
yeah,
put them at very serious time.
to be
When everybody
honest,
don't
to
spend
be
their money
honest,
for December.
to be honest, so there was an opportunity for people to invest. They were doing a public offer, where you come join in, get some of the shares, because the main reason why they were doing that was because they bought the bullet company. I'm sure people know about Black Bullets. It's all over the place. So they wanted the money to finalize their dealing. So they had to go out there, put it out there, okay, for people to invest their money. And it was a really good buy, because they were selling at 16 naira, and currently in the market they're already 20 naira. So in the space of two days, you've already gotten 4 naira extra, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Anytime now I like buying Black Bullet because when I buy it, I'll say small of this money will come back to me one day. Because I have shares in
Exactly.
Black Bullet.
Exactly. So, and we all know about Black Champion Breweries. If you track back to 2024, December or January 2025, you could see where they were and then where they ended. at 2025 December, it was almost a 300%, if not more, in their stock price, and there's already forecasts that 2026 they're going to do better. And now with the Bullet company that they're buying, Bullet on its own is already a big company, and then they're buying it. So there's surely going to be more inflow for them because they have a lot more cash to play with, you know. So it was a good buy, and those are one of the things where you just chip out there. Okay, yes, this opportunity comes out, you put it out there, and before you know, you have a portfolio for yourself. So I just think it's important as individuals not just to spend your money, right, but put it for it to work for you. That's what we call here passive income. Yes. So yeah, that's basically it.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. So, uh, honestly, your words are very serious. That if I'm a layman, I'll start feeling oppressed, and I'll say, "Ah, what am I doing with my life?" So, Nigerians are special people. I've read a lot of
Yeah.
books about Nigerians, and Nigerians like give me A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, right? So, okay, uh, how can I invest, or how can I, if you say stocks, what kind of stocks can I buy? Uh, what apps are trusted that I can use to buy these stocks? How do I know stocks that are hot, or stocks that are viable? Or even if it's not stocks, if it's maybe some other type of things, maybe mutual funds, money markets, all those type of things. What are the
Yeah.
returns like? Yeah, what are the returns like? And
Yeah.
how can I get to do it all the way, like actual steps? I'm sure that's what will be in a lot of people's minds. I'm a regular Nigerian here. You are the professional.
Okay. Okay, so when it comes to stocks, since we started with stocks, when it comes to stocks, before you invest, it's important to look at the sectors because there are different sectors. There's the petroleum sector. We all know that, yes, petrol in Nigeria, especially with the whole up and down of removing of subsidy and everything, we know that there's money there. There's petroleum sector, there's consumer goods sector. Those consumer goods, that no matter what, people are going to buy what they will eat. So they always sell. That's We have likes of Nestle, we have likes of Dangote Sugar. All those things that people go on a daily basis to buy, they always sell. So those are different things you look at. And then when it comes to other sectors too, agriculture, you all know that. So first thing is, when it comes to stock, you look at the sector you're going into. Why are you going into that sector? Like just like how I explained about champion breweries, we all know the main reason why we are looking into investing in champion breweries because of the bullets, and we know that that's a good buy for them, and it's going to upscale, and that's why we're going into that. So when you look at that, that's for the stock. You know that, okay, yes, I want to buy this stock. I already know why I want to buy this stock. And then you now say, okay, what app can I use to buy this stock? Because people just hear about shares, we all think that, oh, yes, you have to go through one company, issuing company, or one this or the other. But things, this 21st century, so things have been made easy. There's an app called Bamboo. There's a Bamboo app, and it makes it easier for people to it makes it easier for people to buy stocks, both local stocks, Nigerian stocks, and international stocks. People buy the likes of Tesla, people buy the likes of a lot of different stocks. So you go to the Bamboo, you just go to your app store, you go to just search for it, the Bamboo, and then it comes out, and then you log in. Most likely there's going to be a verification process. You put in your BVN, NIN, and the likes, and then you can log in and start investing. you know. But it's also important to note that when it comes to stock, there is um, there's risk, you know. So it's important to know that you have to properly know your risk appetite, you know, what you can take before you go into it. Because if you're the kind of person that a small spike can give you BP, then probably you should double think it, you know, because some days it can go down, right? But then when it goes down, you're rest assured because you have the you're rest assured that yes, it's come back up, you know. So that is for stocks. But I would advise anybody not just to put all their money they want to invest in stocks. So there's what they call a balanced portfolio, right? You have 100,000 that you want to invest, right? You can say, okay, I'm going to put down 40,000 in stocks, in buying of different stocks. You know, you pick the sector you want to buy from. You know, you go to Bamboo, you buy the stocks you want to buy with 40,000. You know, and then you say, okay, this 40,000 now can turn to 120,000 tomorrow, right? Because just like we said, champion berries, people that bought champion berries, let's say they put in 40,000 and it did 300%. By today, they would have had like 120,000. If you put 1 million, you're getting 3 million, you know. So that's
Yeah.
300%
Cash.
cash, clean cash, you know. So you have to put that there. Well, yeah, but it's not all your money, right? Because it's 40,000 you're putting there. You have 100,000, you put 40% into there. You're trying to balance it just in case that 40,000 goes down to 20,000. You know that you still have money elsewhere, right? So you put that 40,000 in shares, that's in stocks, you know, and then you say, okay, let me balance this. I'm going to put 30,000 in fixed deposit, for instance. You know, fixed deposit is low risk, so you're sure that when you put your money, it will come back. You know, fixed deposit is the one you do with banks, where you have you put your money and then it has a tenor. They give you a rate. Like for instance, now rates are going to like 19%, 20% per annum. You know, so if you put your money, let's say you have 1 million, you put it there in fixed deposit, you know that at the end of the tenor, it could be 30 days, it could be 90 days, it could be 180 days, you know, and your money is back and it comes back to you because yes, you're giving it to a bank and they're giving you their interest back, you know, and then you can decide to put the other one, maybe 40,000 is here, 30,000 is here, that's 70,000, you have 30,000 left. So you can decide to invest in bonds, right? There was a bond that I purchased, Taj, Taj bond, right? It was a perpetual bond. I think I put it on our group. I don't know if Tony can remember. You know, it was a perpetual bond that came up
Yes.
as at the
Yeah, I can
time.
remember.
Yeah, so what you just do is you put your money there and they pay you coupons. So that particular one was a 5-year bond. You put your money and every year they give you coupon twice in a year, right? And at the end of 5 years, you still have your money, right? So you most likely are earning from your money and you still have your money at the end of the day. So if you put in 5 million, it was at 20%, right? That was the bond was at 20%. So if you put on 5 million in that bond, every year you get 1 million, right? Because it was at 20%. And then at the end of 5 years, you've made your 5 million back, but they still give you 5 million because that the money you put there is still there. They're just that 1 million they're giving you every year is a coupon. It's called coupons, you know, and it's also a good way to balance your portfolio. So we're talking about stocks, we're talking about fixed deposits or money markets, and then we're now talking about bonds as well, right? So I think that's actually a good way to balance your portfolio. And also you have spare cash because it's important you have spare cash. because when you're managing your portfolio and then maybe you need some raw cash to do one or two things, it's not going to be easy to start going for your bonds and then telling them you want to sell your bonds or sell your liquidate your fixed deposits, or sell your stocks because maybe at that time the stocks has not yet peaked, So it's important you have cash. So when we're talking about balancing your portfolio, we're talking about cash, equity, that is the stocks we're talking about, then money markets, and then bonds. I think that's a good way to balance your portfolio. Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. It's there's it's all about information. So I won't say the value, right? But I used to keep a certain amount in a certain bank, right? In a savings account. And if you don't touch your money in your savings account up to three times in a month in any bank, they give you some
Mm,
percentage, right? So that same amount I
mm,
kept in the bank. Every month they were giving me like 7,000 ish. And the reason they buy data. When I took it to mutual funds,
mm.
oh boy, that same amount, I was getting like 15,000 a month for doing nothing. So, so
Yeah.
personally, I
Yeah.
love money market mutual funds. I love it. It's it's a no brainer and it's so
Yeah.
easy. It's so easy. I know the beauty of all these things is we're not selling anything, but every information here is public.
Yeah.
So everything you've heard here, you can go to YouTube, go and study what to do. Probably to get stocks, Nigerian Stock Exchange.
Yeah.
They have their app. You can get all those from there.
And
When it comes
yeah,
to some other listings, you can go to buy like
can go to
last year
NGX.
there was a public offering from banks. A lot of people got those offerings, and the ones I got, I didn't do. I had
Yeah.
to just go to the bank myself, and it was live, so nobody can bubble you in quotes. It's a plain information. But I was doing an analysis with a friend one time, and we're looking at the viability. We're comparing uh, money markets, that's mutual funds money markets to real estate, right? And it was a very funny comparison. So the comparison was uh, mutual funds, they give about annually, they give about 20% annual returns on your money, and you can always withdraw it whenever. Like if I pay me before I even the first money I put in my Stanbic IBTC money market mutual funds was 5,000. I said, well, make I test them. If the five
Mm,
thousand
yeah.
top, I go cry small. so
Yeah.
so I put it in, and after a few days, I said, okay, let me withdraw it. I withdrew it, and in less than a day, they sent the money. I was like, well, this thing show. Like without any hassle, just press the
Mm,
button and it's gone.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
amazing. So that's when I fell in love with Stanbic IBTC. So the analysis we were doing was,
Yeah.
let's say for some reason, maybe someone has gathered 5 million. I know it's almost impossible
Mm,
for you to use 5 million to get a land and build maybe one self-contained and collect rent. But let's
yeah.
say you do that. So the rent in a year, maybe that about one self-contained, let's say give or take, it is 500,000 a year for that one
Yeah.
self-contained, right? So if instead of the hassle of building house, collecting rent, fighting somebody for rent, you take that 5 million and put it in mutual funds money market, you can press your calculator too. I'm pressing my
Yeah.
calculator. So I want to see
Yeah.
what the least mutual funds have been. The profit per year is about 15%, right? So let's say
Least. Yeah.
15%. So 5 million times 1.15. That's what
Yeah.
15% would be. So that's about
Yeah.
5,750,000, right? So You use that 5 million to do your house, whatever. You might not get to rent the self corner for 500, but let's just say 500. With mutual funds instead, you are making 750,000 naira instead, and
Yeah, instead.
no hassle. You don't have to do anything with the house. One
You're
day
not
you go and
stressing
repair
anybody.
something.
Yeah.
You get, so it's a
And also
major,
the thing is,
yeah.
you most likely can't get a self con for 5 million, right? By the time you think of the block you're going to the land itself, the block and everything, you most likely won't get a self con for 5 million. And even if you do, just like you said, there's going to be a lot of hustle. One day the tenant will tell you that no, I don't have the money, they've not paid me, this one, that one, and then you're always calling him, he's cursing you, yeah, this my tenant is a mad person, all
Yeah,
those things, and then you still don't get the value that you get in the mutual fund because mutual fund, what they do is they'll invest, yeah, they make their own money, right? Because they invest your money in things just like you said. Some of them, those mutual funds, they have a chunk of the money in equities. They have a chunk of the money that they invest in bonds. They have a chunk. So when they bring in all these things, they get the percentage, and then they give you a certain percentage at the end of the year. Most times 15. I think as at some point, Stanbic, or was it Stanbic or Codros, they were doing as high as 19%.
yeah.
So
When
that's
I
that's
started, it
that's
was
good money.
21%.
Aha. So that's good money. Instead of your money just staying in the bank and then they're giving you chicken change, most of the time they're even taking from it. It's better you invest it in a mutual fund that would keep the stress off you. Because just like we said, when we talk about stocks, bonds, most of the time you want to do the analysis yourself. But then with mutual fund, you just drop it there and just rest. They do the work, right? They help you put it in the right places and get interest for you, all that. So you just have an app that you use to monitor it and you're good. So yeah.
Yeah, that's powerful. That's powerful. So wonderful. So just before I give my dinner, is it dinner or I, I don't know what they call it, dessert after you don't chop, the cake you
Yeah,
eat. Yeah.
yeah,
So before I do that, let's have a recap. So stocks, bond, all that, the trusted and verified app that I'm currently using, and everything is
mm,
awesome, is good. All right. So that's for stocks and all. And for mutual funds, Stanbic IBTC, powerful people, honestly. So
yeah,
for Bamboo,
yeah,
download the Bamboo app. Uh,
yeah,
download the Bamboo app. Do your research on YouTube on how to create an account and all that. They are licensed and everything. And then Stanbic IBTC,
yeah.
just walk into any Stanbic IBTC branch, and they can open a mutual fund account for you, and they'll tell you how you can log in on your app, or download an app and log in, and you can put in your funds from the app. You can remove your funds from the app anytime, right? So me, for my mutual funds, every morning I just wake up, because the amazing thing is they add the money every day. So if you're supposed to get maybe 150,000 at
Yeah.
the end of the year, they divide 150,000 into 365 and give you that amount every day. So you are smiling.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's amazing.
yeah,
It's amazing. So we'll still have more of this. And uh, in case you might need more specific information, you can send us an email at mindshift@gmail.com, or you can just holler at me, and we could talk. I could help you out. My phone number, most people here should know me, but just in case you're a random person and you don't know me, my phone number is 081 440 So in case you might need some information, I'm happy to help. All right. So for the dessert, there's a book I read by Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. Very important book and very big book. It's called School of Money. That book sells for about 100,000
Hmm.
naira. So we bought the book for that amount, but we're sharing the information out there for free. So that's how generous Mindshift is. So
Hmm.
there's something they call OPM, right? They call it other people's money in the book. I don't know if he came up with the concept, but that's one of the things he talked about in the book. So um, he said the best and the fastest way to make money is using other people's money. So when you see people like Tinubu, you see people like Tony Elumelu, you see people like Dangote. How is Dangote who he is? Dangote Dangote doesn't own up to 10% of the money he uses to do what he does, right? He's collecting from this, collecting from that. Even the oil companies that will sell oil, they borrow money. They use other people's money to finance their things, right?
Yeah.
So this is important because most people believe that, oh, if it's not my money, I cannot do anything. No, the when you cross a level of wealth, to cross a level of wealth, you need to use other people's money to do what you have to do, right? So, other people's money, as in investments, uh, even as simple as mutual funds.
You know. Yeah. So I think the network threw him off. You know, that is that's Nigeria for you. You know, we have to do better, and that's why we have to invest our money so that we can grow and help to fix a few of these sectors. You know, so um, it's very important. Just like he said, I think I was also reading a book, Think and Grow Rich. Um, it's one of the lessons there as well that um, you have to use other people's money, and using other people's money is what we call borrowings. A lot of people borrow, and when they borrow it to use it for something that is maybe buy a liability, you borrow and buy a car. All those are wasted borrowings. They are bad borrowings. But good borrowings is when you borrow to use and do something that will give you more money, right? For instance, you borrow 1 million naira, and then the rate for borrowing that 1 million naira is 10%, right? And then you're going to pay 1,100,000, right? But you know that 1 million you borrowed, you're about to use it to do something that will give you 500,000, right? So you know that that is a good borrowing because you've made more money using another person's money. Because at that 100,000 you're going to pay, you just net it from the 500,000 you're going to make, and you made 400,000 clean, right? So imagine upscaling that. Imagine being able to borrow 10 million, right? Yeah, can you hear me, Tony?
Yes, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay, so imagine being able to borrow 10 million, right? And you pay back 1 million, but that 10 million is giving you 5 million. you know. So that is good borrowing, and that's, I think that's what Tony was trying to talk about, you know, being able to use other people's money to grow yourself, to upscale yourself. You know, I think generally people just have a notion. I think probably because of the mentality we've had for the longest, that borrowing is bad. The lender is always above the borrower.
Above.
You know, yeah, all those things. You know, so people just feel like, why should I
Why should I
borrow from
borrow?
somebody? You know, I
Let
don't
me
want
drink
to.
my gari and sleep in
Yeah,
peace. So uh, I didn't want to
exactly,
say
exactly.
this.
Or
I didn't want
probably
to
because
say
of the
this.
Nigerian films we've watched.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I didn't want to say this, but what the example you gave just inspired me to say something. All right. So I'll say it, and
yeah,
anybody that can follow this can be a very quick millionaire from nowhere. Right. So imagine imagine you take a loan or borrow money or whatever, and the interest rate on that loan is a single digit interest rate, right? So maybe 9%,
yeah.
right? Nine
Mm,
percent per year. And you put it in mutual funds. You put it in
yeah,
mutual funds that the return is 15% per year.
yeah.
So you see, off the top, you used, let's say you collected 5 million from somebody. Off the top, you are using their 5 million. Okay, let's say 10 million. 10 million is easier to calculate. You collect 10 million, you use it to get do mutual funds. With 10 million, uh what's the profit? What will be the profit for 10 million? Would that be 1.5? I think that'll be
Yeah,
1.5.
so yeah, that's 15%, yes.
Yeah. So then with
Yeah,
the
15% is
1.5,
1.5, yes.
yeah, the 9% would be
It's
uh
900,000. Yeah,
yeah, 9%. Yeah, 9% is 900. You see why is the money more? Me, I want the press calculator. So imagine you collected someone's 10 million and they say, give me
mm,
900,000 at the end of the year.
yeah,
Very nice. And you are making
yeah,
1.5 million on it. So off the
yeah.
top, at least that's about, is that
King,
600,000?
600K. Yeah,
Yeah,
King. Yeah,
600,000 from nowhere is yours. So
yeah,
I shared that information. So let the wise, let those who have
yeah,
ears hear. Yeah. So
yeah,
it's it's beautiful. We went with the flow, went with the vibes, and uh, I believe we've been able to catch one or two things from this productive mindset of money, the stream, right? And if you've not watched the intro video to this, it's important you watch it. We were talking about the 70-30 rule, all right? You can spend 70% of your money as much as you want, but at least keep 30%. 30% is what you can use to play around with things like this, right? And you will be flying. Everybody's working on land. You're flying on air, right? And it's little by little. So for that person that is making 30,000, if you keep 30% of 30,000, that's almost nothing, right? So I like to say, or from the books I've read, they say the first investment is in yourself. So if your 30,000 can't do much, you can keep 5,000 from your 30,000 every month. And if the money is something, you can pay for a skill, get a skill, and if you have a proper 2 year plan, you'll be
improve
surprised that in
yourself.
2 years of collecting your 30,000 and saving, you will do something else. You can make so much money, and
Yeah,
everybody that's collecting 30,000 with you is like, "Ah, well, what did this guy do?" So it's all about a long term plan and a long term vision.
yeah,
So we'll still have many more of this, but I think this is a good point to bid us farewell. Mr. Austin, I don't know if you have any final
yeah.
words for us.
Yeah, I just want to appreciate you for bringing me on here. I think this is a good place to be. There are a lot of talks out there, but it's always good to hear things that inspire you to be better and do better. you know, and that's why I think about this platform, you know. So it's an opportunity and a privilege to be here, you know. So thank you, Tony, for bringing me here.
All right, awesome. So, I still remain Anthony Okon, your mind shift host, and we believe we can all have a well rounded mind. Money, relationships, leadership, spirituality, everything. We can have a bit of everything, and life can be better. So, till next time, we would like to say thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again. Cheers,
Bye.
everyone. Yeah.
Bye. 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 Thanks.